Hey guys, welcome to Mad Does Stuff. This week I'm going to be regratting my patio using some Sika FastFix. I'm also going to be announcing the competition winner from a few weeks ago. So if you like the sound of either of those, stick around. Remember, while this intro is on, drop me a like and subscribe to my channel. So we'll do the competition draw later on. For now, I'm going to talk about Sika FastFix All Weather. So this is a rub-in or brush-in resin compound. I guess an alternative to standard like sand and cement mortar. And essentially, what it tells you to do is brush it in, compact it down, and then it'll set as hard as mortar. I've never used this before, so I'm going to give this a go. As always, I'll be going through what I'm up to, talk about the process I'm going through, and then later on talk about some pros and cons maybe, or some things that I learned. So stick around for that, and then right at the end, like I say, competition time.
So this is the patio in my garden. I decided not to relay it this year, just because it was too much effort, I think, probably. But as you can see, it does need a bit of TLC, so I'm going to repoint it because some of the existing mortar pointing is coming out. In other places it's just non-existent, so yeah, needs a bit of TLC. So first job is to make the just clean out all the gaps in between all of the patio slabs. Like I say, most of the mortar in mine had already come out, but I'm just using a weed hook here to take out all the dirt, sawdust, just all the sort of leaves, basically clean out all the gaps in between. I'm digging down quite deep with this Sika FastFix. It says that you need to have 20mm deep lines, so I'm digging out as much as I can in between all the patio slabs. In some cases where the mortar was left over or still in position, I had to work a bit harder to get that out, but mostly it was just dirt and weeds and leaves, so just giving that a good hook out. In some places some of the mortar was still fixed in quite solid, so I just used a hammer and a bolster just to clean mine up a bit. You can choose to use a grinder with a stone cutting disc on it, or whatever you like really, but the idea is probably not to try and damage your patio. Once I'd hooked out all of the grout lines, it's just a case of sweeping up all the mess. Obviously using a dustpan and brush for the most of it, and then I'm getting my shop vac out. Not completely necessary, but I did hoover up all of the lines to make sure that there was no loose dust or debris or leaves in there, just to try and make sure that the FastFix had the best conditions to set in. So this is what the lines look like in my patio once I'd finished hooking them out. You can see that not all of them are even. Yeah, whoever laid this patio didn't do a tremendous job, but the good thing is they are all a minimum of 5mm, which is what you need, or according to the instructions for this, and I hooked them out, like I say, to at least 20mm deep. So yeah, these lines, as far as I was concerned, were ready to go. So this is the tub that the Sika FastFix comes in. It's 14 kilos, which is quite heavy, but there is quite a lot in there. I think the coverage is 19 meters squared. And it has all of the instructions on the back, or the steps you need to go through. There are only 7. It is actually quite a simple product to use when you read the instructions, or it seems it. So yeah, that's the tub. First thing it tells you to do is thoroughly wet the area. So that's what I'm doing here, just with my hose pipe, just giving the area a rinse down. So when you come to open the box, you should find 2 bags in there. I'm guessing this is so you can do a small patio or a large patio. You don't have to open up too much at one time. And they are all sealed. I'm guessing that the air starts the reaction. So it does say to look out for any punctures or anything. Mine didn't have any. So just cut it open with a Stanley knife. So once I'd cut the bag open, I just got to work pouring out the substance inside into all of the gaps. It looks a bit like sand, and it pours a bit like sand as well, I guess. And once in the vicinity of the gaps, I just use the brush from a dustpan and brush just to move it into where I want it, just to fill the lines up. And then in order to compact it down, apparently this is an essential part according to the instructions, I'm just using a piece of dowel, which I found to be the right size. But if you've got a pointing tool or anything sort of circular or just to put it in, would be quite just as good. And then once I got a bit more confident with the process, I poured out a lot more, and I was moving it around with the bigger brush, and then going back over with a mixture of the dowel or just working it in with my hands. Keep filling up the gaps, keep working it in until I was comfortable that all the lines were full. So this is what the lines look like once I had put them in. As you can see, it's actually raining now. So this was directly after I'd finished the repointing. It started to rain quite heavily. Because it's all weather, that shouldn't be a problem, because it says you can use it in the rain. With the leftovers, the bits that didn't go in the gap, so just swept it up and put it back in the tub and filled it with water. The instructions say you can keep it like this for up to a month, but if it all sets properly, not sure why I'd want to keep it, but I'm going to anyway.
So we have it. Patio is now re-grouted. I think actually it's a really easy product to use. Really simple steps. Just wet it down, push it in the gaps, leave it to set. I actually did mine in the dry, but it did rain quite hard afterwards, and when I'm filming this is actually 24 hours after I did the patio repointing, and it's still a little bit soft, but it does say on the back that that's nothing to worry about, just take a bit longer to set up. So hopefully by the time this goes out, I'll have some text somewhere on the screen which says whether it's set hard or not, which I hope it does, because it's, like I say, really easy product to use. I guess some things to note, maybe, or one thing to note. When you're putting it in the gaps, you don't necessarily, I used a dowel in the video just because that was about the right size. You can use that, but actually I found that in certain cases just getting a big pile of it and like patting it in with your fingers, just giving it a bit of a ram in the gap, also worked as well. Make sure you've got gloves on, obviously, because I found actually, well, if you've got a proper pointing tool, that's probably the answer, but just make sure it's compacted. It does say in bold letters on the back, compacting is essential, so that was the way that I found to do it. And the only other consideration is actually don't tip it all out, or you need less than you think, in all honesty. Certainly for my patio, one bucket was enough, but it says like 19 meters squared. That did my patio out there. And I needed, and I've still got quite a lot left over, as you saw in the video, but I'd already tipped it all out onto the patio, so maybe tip out less, use it up, because it does actually spread quite far when you're filling gaps that are 5mm wide by 20mm deep, so just something to consider. Other than that, like I say, really great product. Maybe in a year's time, 2 years time, I'll do a video which tells you how it held up. So for those of you we're only sticking around for to find out who won the competition, now's the time. We're going to draw the winner. what was up for grabs was this chopping board, which is made of cherry, oak and beech. What I'm going to do is use a random number generator on my phone, and I'll count through the comments. Wiz's Woodwork, you put 2 comments on, so I've only counted one of those, and I'm using the one where you actually follow the rules, which was to tell me which video you like. So you've only been entered once, so I've got a total of 19 comments. I've got a random number generator between 1 and 19, so I'm going to press the button. That's number 10. So hopefully, if my editing is correct, or if I've done well in editing, you should see your names on the screen. I'll just count down. And the winner, according to this, is O. Simmons. I know Ollie, so basically, if you want to claim the chopping board, get in contact with me on the email address which is in my About section, and I'll look to get this sent out to you. So congratulations, apologies to everyone else, but I'm sure, hopefully for me, I'll do many more milestones in the future, and I'll run some more competitions. Good stuff. So, all that's left to do is celebrate this episode with a beer, as always, and I've got No Rest for Dancers by Lost and Grounded, which is a red ale. So let's have a little taste. Yeah, I could get used to that. Anyway, remember, you stay safe, get some stuff done.